I was asked one time by someone this question. And mind you, they weren't poking fun or accusing me or acting as if I was wrong in any way at all in my ideals or whatever. But they said, how do you justify living the way you live, having very little, making very little money? Um, how do you justify that? And well, I said, well, it's an interesting choice of words, the word justify. I think that that word choice that you have came from a deeply seated um, indoctrination that you and I have been exposed to as a child. And he asked, why? Why would I call it an indoctrination that is the root of the reason why I asked that particular question using that word, justify? And I said, well, because as children, we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And if you think about that, that question is very, very well constructed. It's designed to appeal to the mind, the imagination of a child's mind, while at the same time planting the seed that there is something that they must be. So it not only questions the child's imagination, but it also, for the first time maybe in their life, makes them realize or think that they must have a goal. They must be something. Now, the child's answer is really irrelevant. The point is to get the child to think that way. And I dug very deep into my own psyche to realize this as an adult. Now, if you can remember things back from your childhood, you can remember how you reacted to them then, and then you can see now the sinister plot behind even asking the question. You know, you don't realize it when you're a child because you don't think like that then. All you want to do is answer the question. And so children say things like, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, I want to be an astronaut. They don't say, I want to be a dishwasher at a restaurant. I want to be a hedge fund manager. I want to be I want to be a cashier at Walmart, which is reality is where, that's where you end up. Not even in the hedge fund manager category, but even that is a job. Basically, it's to get the child to start beginning to accept the fact that the world expects them to be something, and in order to be that, you have to work and go to school and feed the system. You don't realize that until you're an adult. So that makes a person who wants to ask me in my minimalist kind of lifestyle the words, how do you justify your lifestyle? Because there's no need to justify this lifestyle. Now, my response, these damn cigarettes, they go out because the government makes them go out because they put that chemical in there. I can go on, but I won't. Where was I? Okay, so the way I answered that question was this. And look, I'm not trying to say that I am some kind of a wise man or whatever. This is the way it is for me. And since I'm a human, I think I share the same sentiment with most human beings. But If you can look at a Ferrari and say, I could have that if I wanted it, but I don't want it, you have basically graduated into the mentality of where I am. And I don't say graduated as in moving up. I mean graduating as in moving into another mindset. That's just transitioning into a different mindset. And this mindset I have is not to justify that I have nothing, because if I want it, I know how to get it. And most of the things, if I do want them, I make them. And I'm proud of the things that I make. For instance, I wanted an airplane at one time, and I made one. And I flew it. I didn't have to go buy one. But there is no need to justify my existence. There's a need. You have the need to hear a justifiable excuse that makes sense to you why a person like me would be like me. And I just don't need to do that for you. I don't feel the need to explain myself, because, for instance, here we go. Here's the root of how I so-called justify my existence in the way that I feel and the way that I live. I don't have a wife. I don't have children. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a car payment. I don't have to follow the rules you do. If you have husband, wife, children, mortgage, car payment, there are certain things that you have to do to maintain those things because you want them. Or maybe you don't, but the world's told you you have to have them. I don't have those things. So I don't have to justify those things. I don't have to get that high-paying job where 90% of my money is wasted on the things. I don't have children that are dependent on me. So I don't have to be responsible for them. And so why should I live by your rules when I don't have your benefits or liabilities? To me, it's not worth selling myself and my time and my soul and my flesh and my health and my stress to have those things. If it happens that I father a child, then I will. But I haven't happened to father a child. I'm 48 years old, and I know for a fact that I don't have any children. I have no responsibility in that way. So why am I going to shackle myself to the responsibilities that are required to maintain that kind of a benefit? If I'm not getting the benefit, why do I need to take the risk and have the liability? There's no need. It's simple math and logic. So I don't do it because I don't have to. And as far as my income is concerned, well, I work when I can. I have health problems. Can't work every day. I spent years and years trying to justify myself to the people whom I don't owe an explanation to, who want to shackle me to their terms and to their same rules. I had to justify myself by proving to them, by going to hospital many times, having surgeries many times, and just plain out refusing to do things before they finally let up and left me alone. They, in their own minds, gave up on me. Gave up on mentoring me into being someone, somebody, being that astronaut, that firefighter, that policeman, that hero that as a child they wanted to be, and then turned out to be a property manager, a cashier, the many things that fell terribly short of their dream. I had and still have a dream, and that is to live as free as I can. Free money-wise and free of responsibility. And I do that. So I am living my dream. And it's not until you have children that they become what they are to you. Yes, it may be a dream to have children one day, but it's not a reality yet. Damn cigarettes. It's only when your first child is born that you're locked in emotionally. And you should be, because that's a life that you're responsible for. See, I don't have that. So why am I required to be responsible for something I don't have? There's certain benefit that you get from having a child. You get the benefit of that child carrying on your name, your legacy. That child can legitimize you. The fact that the child grows and lives says that you are a good person, that you feed it and you clothe it, and you're capable of raising and providing. Those are benefits that balance out the responsibility of a child. But if I don't get those benefits, then why am I required to be responsible in the same way? You see, it's like this. Why should I pay for a Ferrari if I don't have one? Why are you making me pay for something that I don't have? The world has a funny way of doing that, and it's all designed by, the people, them, that we call they, the government and all the people that run those people, to funnel us into some kind of a psychological maze or labyrinth that we're always wandering around trying to find our way to a source or to a goal. And it's so funny that some people know the way and they can go straight to it, and other people are just bumbling around this maze, getting caught by all the traps, and they don't know how to get there. But the people who do know how to get there don't share it with the people who don't. You see? And at the very center of this maze that everyone is wandering around in is a thing called happiness and contentness. And that's why they have the house, car, white picket fence, mortgage, children, that high level position. They're seeking happiness. That is the ultimate goal, is happiness, contentness, peace, stability. And they never find it. And I have. I'm there already. So I don't have to go through the gauntlet to get it, because I don't get the benefits of the things that they're paying for. And they, sadly enough, aren't getting those benefits either. They're slaves. And I'm not. Because I never wanted to be. And when I started seeing and making choices at a young man's age, making certain choices to set myself up for a later benefit, I realized that almost every fucking thing you run into is a fucking scam. And by the time you achieve the goal, the things that you wanted, that you finally got, are old. They're out of fashion. There's always a new thing to want, and everything you get depreciates. Your life depreciates. And you get older and you get in, you start hurting. You start paying the price for the injuries that you had in the past. And things start being harder for you to get. Your life depreciates, and so do your things. And when you're working a job that pays a certain amount, either a salary or hourly, and you look at that check and you realize that 30% of it went to an entity that does nothing for you, and then you spend the other 70% on things that also have a tax, and those things need a support system like a car. You buy the car and there's a tax on that. So you take the 70% of the money that you got left, if you even get that much out of your paycheck, and you buy a car with it. Then you pay an ad valorem tax on the car, and then you have to buy gas for it and insurance on it, and there's tax on that. You got to put oil in it, and there's tax on that. You got to buy parts for it, and there's taxes on that. You got to feed your body so you have the energy and the life to experience the car, and there's taxes on that. You end up paying 70 to 80% of your hard-earned money, which is translatable to energy. You're just giving yourself away. I don't want to give that much of myself away. I understand in order to live in this world, you got to give something up. So my mission is to keep as much for me of true valuable things and give the least amount away to an entity that does nothing for me. And so I give of myself to other people. My time, my advice, my wisdom if I have it, my intellect if I have it. And that's the way in which I create my own bartering system with the people around me. I get truly valuable things from them. I get good intentions. Sometimes people just drop by and give me things. I do the same. That way it's free, or it's exchanged. Truly valuable things are exchanged. A friend of mine asks me to come over and help him move a couch, and I get over there and I help him move the couch, and he gives me a few beers. Good. I didn't have to buy those beers. He didn't have to pay me. And we got that camaraderie and that trust and that give and take, that ebb and flow between us, that energy exchange. The government got nothing from that. Nothing. You see, the two of us got everything out of that deal. Nobody got 30% of it. And I'm trying to live my life like that. Giving the least amount of myself to places that don't give me anything. And it's not like I'm in this life for what's in it for me. I truly do give of myself, trying not to, dwell on the idea that I won't get something in return, because I always do from somewhere else. Something always happens for me really when I need it. Something falls out of the sky. It's a little thing, but it always saves me. Something always saves me. And you know why? Because it doesn't take much to save me. Because I don't have much. I don't need much. And so that little thing is a huge blessing to me. If that little thing fell into the lap of, let's say, a family member of mine who has 3 kids and a big house and a big mortgage, well, they wouldn't see it as a big deal. It would have been wasted on them. But they still get those little windfalls too. But those little windfalls literally save me from time to time. And they do a lot more for me than they would for them. So there's a lot more value in it. And that is the value that the government can't tax, that the scam artists can't have. So how do you get there? You realize that everything, almost everything in life that is made or manufactured is a scam. And the only way to not get scammed is to don't get involved. Sure, I think I could probably have a Ferrari if I wanted one. And if I do, I'll do what it takes to get it. But most likely along the way of having that job and working those hours and doing those things it takes to get that thing, that eventually, once I finally get it, it's going to be old, it's going to be depreciated, and it's going to lose value, and someone's going to have something better than that right around the corner. I'm going to realize that along the way, and I'm going to give up on it because it's not worth it. If I want a Ferrari, fuck it, I'll just make one. If I want an airplane, fuck it, I'll just make one. If I want a motorcycle, like I have done, I'll just make one. Then it's the only one like that. Nobody else can have one like mine. And it will always have its own value to me. Whether you have see a value in it or not, I'm doing it for me, not you. So get up off my ass. Quit pressuring me to live by the same rules that your miserable ass is having to live by. I don't have to live by those rules, and I'm damn sure not fucking going to. And if that pisses you off that I'm not caught in the same traps you are, well, I'm sorry. You need to graduate. You need to transition your mindset. Because just like Brad Pitt said in the movie The Fight Club, the things that you owned end up owning you. And I guess my ultimate goal in life is to not be owned by a damn thing or a damn soul.